Let me go now to our next speaker, Mr. Frédéric Degret, who is the Chief Executive Officer of ReGen. A net zero future for tourism will clearly depend on the ocean. We all agree on that. And coastal ecosystems are top tourism destinations. Now, coastal ecosystems also provide us with ecosystem services, such as the protection from storms and nursery grounds and fish. In addition, around 25% of all CO2 emissions are absorbed by the ocean. I would like to invite you to share with us what is NOAA's innovative vision and approach to protect and regenerate blue carbon ecosystems. Is ESG blue ecosystem and how can we make it work? Maybe you can shed some light. I have asked you to prepare slides as well, because I think this is a very complex and very new sphere, and I think we will understand better. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Sarita. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be here, and more when I'm alongside small island states, representative, and countries such as Kenya, which have a huge coast area and wetlands areas, because I'm going to introduce a mechanism that can be a game changer for those countries. So I'm Frédéric Degret, the founder of ReGen. NOAA is the acronym of Network of Ocean Ambassador Headquarters, and ReGen for regeneration. What we try to address to the countries is a complete holistic ecosystem to help them fast-tracking their transition in a concrete way. So we need to help them with a toolkit that brings first the adequate legal and policy framework. I'm happy to hear about the climate emergency, so this is what we're trying to put in collaboration with the general authority of those countries, a climate emergency legislation to help fast-tracking their transition and bringing an adequate legal framework for attracting private equity on top of what the country has already. So the second part is dealing with a financial ecosystem. We need a dedicated platform to channel the funds, trace those funds, trace the carbon assets, and duplicate it with the private equity. So we're talking about blended finance. Then the third point is the most important one for those countries, how they can value at the highest potential their natural resources. So here we bring a solution not only with the carbon credits mechanism, but also we are investing a lot in technology to unlock the blue carbon, which is definitely going to become a game changer. Then we help them choosing the right industrial development, clean techs to transit the quickest way with the most impact possibilities. And as it's very complex at the state level, we help coordinate the setup to the scale up. So here it's how we believe blended finance can work in a proper way. So through the first pillar, which is the climate emergency legislation, we ask those governments to reinvest part of what we unlock with the blue carbon methodology and the green carbon into their transition circular economies as junior tranche, first loss, seed money, all of that mechanism that enable the private equity to come into the game. So this is the way we believe blended finance can work, reinvesting what we unlock as natural resources monetization into the model. So for this, we are bringing dedicated financial tools such as the Global Blue Carbon Bank. We have already set up the Blue Climate Fund, and we are also talking about setting up a carbon stock exchange, which brings the traceability of all the carbon assets. This is an example how we value the highest potential of carbon. We call it carbon cascade mechanism, which is rich to riff. So we help governments to identify the most strategic areas to regenerate first, such as riversides, wetlands. We invest in agroforestry, carbon farming, clean techs that are bringing their own added value through the carbon mechanism, but also they affect the state of ocean next to it. So if governments are able to adopt marine protected areas next to it, then we can have the additionality with the blue carbon credits and the market that we can unlock. So here there is on the left side a bit of approximation of what is the blue carbon market. So roughly it's half of the carbon markets, but for small island states it comes to much more because they have very tiny territories but huge exclusive economic zones, such as Maldives. I believe they're roughly about 1 billion square kilometers of economic exclusive zones. If we can bring revenues out of these resources as soon as they're protected, as soon as we can invest in additionality and conservation of the carbon stock, it could become a clearly game changer for the countries, doubling potentially their economies. So this is the way we would like to channel the funds into the platform and reinvest it into their circular economy for the transition. This is an example also linked to the tourism. We are all creating a born regenerative brand. It's called NOAA here again, but that time it's Nomad Off-Grid Augmented Habitat, where this is the meeting point to coordinate all of the investment and the transitional investment for those countries. We need to attract business leaders, clean tech leaders, industries, and we need to offer them an ecosystem to stay, to develop, to scale up into those countries. So this is the goal of NOAA Resorts, which is regenerative communities where they can work, develop, live in a fully off-grid mechanism, and in the same time find the necessary complementary services to live there. So like alternative school, organic foods, shared assets like e-cars, e-bikes, and so on. So this is the way we organize a meeting point from the rich to riff to coordinate and to scale up. So basically, what we offer as a conclusion is generating a carbon cascade mechanism for those countries, unlocking their blue carbon, which is something very important and a game changer to fast-track the transition and potentially to respect the Paris Agreement, and then to trace all of those carbon assets, reinvest it as public equity, junior tranche into their transitional economies, circular economies. This is a complete holistic ecosystem for those territories and mostly highland states. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Frédéric. I think that the virtual circle that you have designed in the space is really having a very interesting future and maybe going beyond net zero. So the regeneration is very interesting part. So looking forward to the next steps, and I know many countries have already approached you and you are in negotiations, so as we are with UNWTO and your own ecosystem and network.